I can't remember the last time I looked in the comment section of one of our videos and didn't see bring back the list videos. Why aren't you doing lists anymore? No way is Lisa a grandmother. She looks like she's 25. John's a lucky guy. You're right, I am. Well, your wish is our command, and today we've got a really good list for you. Fish that can help you clean your aquarium. Because who doesn't want that? And let's not get carried away with the Lisa looks like she's 25 comments. I mean, come on. My honest opinion, she doesn't look a day over 28.
It's really sweet when people say I look like I'm 25 and John says I'm 28. I guess it's the fact that I've always said I'm 28 because I'll always be 28. All right, let's get back to reality. The most important thing that needs to be said in this video is that the best thing that's going to keep your aquarium clean is you. Too many times we've had people show us a tank that's full of algae and the water's brown, and they say, what can I put in this tank to clean it up? As someone that likes to call myself a responsible fish keeper, I have no choice but to say the answer is you. I can't stress enough that if your aquarium gets out of control and looks like a box of mud, don't go looking for a solution that's going to require no work on your part. There's no product, and there's certainly no fish that are going to take your nasty aquarium and make it look like something that could be entered into an aquascaping contest. The key word to remember in this video is that we're talking about fish that can help keep your aquarium clean. This means the tank looks good, everything's under control, but the fish are just kind of helping to keep it that way. Nothing is going to take the place of the fish keeper, and nothing is going to keep you from having to do maintenance on your tank. The thing is, you're still going to have to do work, and the fish, they're just going to help you keep it looking good in between maintenance.
When you're thinking about fish that can help clean an aquarium, you're most likely thinking about small fish and inverts that are constantly scouring all around the aquarium looking for anything they can fit in their mouth. What you're probably not thinking about is cichlids. Cichlids are big fish that create big waste and make a mess everywhere they go. But there's one that you might not know is great at helping keep your sand substrate clean, and that's Geophagus. These South American cichlids get anywhere from 6 to 7 inches, which makes them great for folks that want to keep cichlids but don't have a tank big enough to house Oscars, red devils, or jaguars. But what makes geos stand out is the fact that these guys are sand sifters. Geophagus will constantly hover around the bottom of the tank, sucking sand in, sifting through it to pick out anything they can digest, and then blow it out of their gills. Anyone that's ever kept a sand substrate knows they can be a challenge when debris gets stuck to it and becomes difficult to get out. Well, you won't have to worry about that if you have a fish that's literally a vacuum cleaner. These cichlids aren't titans of the tank, so you don't need a huge aquarium to keep them, but I'd recommend at least 75 gallons. But as I always say, bigger is always better.
That's what she said?
As for tank mates, geos will do great with other smaller American cichlids like sevrums and acaros, or even blood parrots. You can also keep some of your larger barbs and tetras with them, but stay away from your smaller varieties like neon or cardinal tetras because, well, they're cichlids, and the rule of most cichlids is, if they can fit it in their mouth, they're gonna eat it. And I haven't even mentioned that Geophagus are super cool looking, beautiful fish. So you get all that color, you get some size, and they're gonna help you keep your substrate clean. But it has to be mentioned, if you have larger gravel in your aquarium, there is a chance that they could get that stuck. So make sure if you're gonna keep geos, you stick to a sand substrate. And they'll help you keep it clean.
If you know me at all, then you know I'm crazy about plants, cats, and betas. But one thing you may not realize, I'm also crazy about snails. Most fish keepers have a love-hate relationship with snails. Some look at them as fascinating little blobs that slowly work their way around the tank, eating up anything in their path, while others see them as a nuisance. Yes, it's true that snails reproduce faster than anything else, because most of them can reproduce without a mate, which basically means they're squirming around all day long, laying eggs that could eventually become little snails. This is why you'll see the little white dots all around snail tanks. It's something I love about them, but it can become a problem real quick. How do you prevent this from happening? Well, either figure out what to do with all the extras, like feeding them to certain fish or giving them away to friends. And the second option is to just not get them in the first place. But I don't like that one because I love snails. I guess there's a third option. You could sell them like I do. Did you not realize I sell snails on my website? I have like 12 to 13 different kinds, and I have the best foods on there to feed them. Anyway, let's talk about why I love them. Snails come in a bunch of different varieties and sizes, and they're constantly working their way around the tank, munching on anything in their path. The only thing is they don't do it very fast. Don't expect to put a mystery snail in your tank and miraculously it's all clean. No, it takes them a while, but they'll put the work in, I promise. Don't be afraid of putting some snails in your tank, especially if you have a 5 or 10 gallon aquarium. They'll provide some added interest, keep your tank clean, and they can go with pretty much any fish, except the ones that'll eat them. Don't put them with puffers. Oh, and by the way, I love snails so much, we decided to do a promo code SNAIL for 10% off at keyfishkeeping.com. You can order live betas, plants, and snails, fish food, chemicals, and all the equipment you need to run an aquarium. All of the orders are packed by John and I and shipped same day if they're placed before 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So visit keyfishkeeping.com and enter code SNAIL for 10% off.
Depending on who you talk to, you're going to get very different opinions about Siamese algae eaters. There's going to be people like me that are going to say they're great and I've never had any problems with them, while others will say they're devils that will harass everything in your aquarium. And I almost guarantee you, if you're watching this at least an hour after it went live, there's already been somebody that's commented, these are the worst fish ever. If you want my honest opinion, I've had exactly 0 issues with these fish being aggressive and mean to other fish. It doesn't mean it'll never happen. I'm just saying the things people complain about online is stuff I've never personally experienced. What I know for a fact is these fish are super aggressive to one thing, and it's in the name of the fish: algae. They go all over the tank and suck on anything they can stick their mouth to, whether it's the glass, the substrate, or decorations, and they'll do it super fast. I'm a big fan of danios because they're absolutely everywhere all over the place like little spazzes. And I can honestly say Siamese algae eaters are the exact same way. They're everywhere. One of the common misconceptions about this fish is they stay really small. This is not true. They can get up to 6 inches long, which doesn't put them in the category of monster fish, but they're not going to fit comfortably in a 5 or 10 gallon. I know you might want to fight me on this, but I say give them at least 55 gallons so they can have plenty of space to spaz out, and the exercise will help with the next thing. When you read articles on these fish or you see the tags at your fish store, it's going to tell you they are a shoaling fish, which means they like to hang out in groups. This is a good thing, but also can be a bad thing. If you have a group of these fish, this is when things can possibly get ugly between them. They might start fighting each other to figure out their hierarchy. This could result in a couple of them being killed off, or they might figure things out and live peacefully. You never really know till it happens. This is why I say give them a larger tank. It gives them space to work out their issues and also room to retreat if things get ugly. But don't let that discourage you from trying these fish out. They're great little workers, and if you're afraid of the aggression, just get one. Yes, they like to be in groups, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the same fish. So they can match up with another little group and swim around with them, and everybody will get along and the tank will be cleaner for it.
Bristlenose plecos are one of those things to add to an aquarium to help keep your aquarium clean. But don't get them mixed up with the common pleco. The common pleco is a giant catfish that can't fit in most tanks and honestly don't do a great job cleaning algae. But the bristlenose pleco does a great job with algae, and they stay small enough to be kept in most home aquariums. These little mutant-looking things will not only clean your gravel by sucking the debris and algae off of them, but they'll also get up on the rocks, driftwood, and even plants. They're constantly working and they're super fun to watch. That is, if you can get past one thing, because I don't know how else to say it, but they are kind of ugly. I know I just made a lot of pleco keepers mad by saying that, but it's true. These fish look like little aliens, but if I'm being honest, that's why I love them. I'm a big fan of things that are different or ugly. In fact, I could give you a list of fish that I love simply because they're ugly. Let me know if you'd like to see a video on that list. Bristlenose plecos are great little workers that can be kept with pretty much any community type fish like tetras, barbs, guppies, swordtails, and on and on and on. You just want to stay away from big monster fish that can eat them, you know? If you're keeping fish that big, that's when you want to go to a common pleco. Bristlenose plecos don't get really big, but I'd still put them in a 20-gallon because that's the right thing to do. If you want to get something a little bit smaller than that, then there's plenty of things on this list that'll be perfect for you.
When we talk about fish that'll help you keep an aquarium clean, you automatically think about algae. Well, there's more to keeping an aquarium clean than just algae. That's almost like if you were to say, I'm going to clean my house, but all you do is clean the windows. You still have vacuuming to do and dusting the furniture and doing the dishes. If all you put in an aquarium is something to eat algae, you've still got other stuff laying around the substrate, behind the rocks, and accumulated around the base of your plants. Well, this is where little scavengers like Corydoras come in. These are amazing little catfish that pretty much stay around the bottom of the tank and they never stop going around looking for something to eat. They're like the bottom-dwelling version of Danios. One of my favorite things about Corydoras is they're shoaling fish, so they like to swim around in a little group, and they're just, as a group, going around all over the place scavenging for food. It's priceless. Earlier I talked about Siamese algae eaters and how they're also shoaling fish, but they'll be okay by themselves. This isn't the case with Corydoras. They really want to be in groups. Does this mean if you only get one, it's just gonna die? No. But our goal is to have an aquarium that's pretty, but we also want to keep the fish happy and healthy, right? Well, a Cory by itself just isn't going to be happy, so get a group of 5 or 6 of them and watch them do their thing. They'll be happy and they're going to keep you happy because they're going to help keep your aquarium clean between maintenance. Plus, they're just adorable little fish.
Remember earlier when I said I'm obsessed with plants, betas, cats, and snails? Well, I also have another channel that's about plants and cats, but mainly cats. It's called Roots and Whiskers, and I'll put a link in the description below. Well, I forgot to mention that I'm also obsessed with shrimp. I don't know what it is about those little things, but they're so freaking cute. I can remember a day when shrimp were super difficult to keep. No matter what I did, they'd go in a tank and a couple weeks later, they'd all be dead. Well, it's not like that anymore. A lot of the freshwater shrimp varieties are super easy to keep, especially red cherry and Amano shrimp. I put 6 red cherry shrimp in John's tank in his bathroom, and within like a month, they become well over 100. These little boogers are all over everywhere, and I swear they never stop eating and reproducing. The interesting thing I've found is shrimp actually like an aquarium that's got some, well, gnarliness to it. Ugh. They like to have something to do in the tank, and if you put them in a brand new tank that has no detritus and algae buildup, they've got nothing to do. Now, I'm not saying to just throw them in a giant puddle of mud, but an aquarium that has a little something in it, they love it. Another thing I absolutely love about shrimp is they can go in pretty much anything from a bowl like I did with Diana Wallstead to a 20-gallon with a big hang-on-the-back filter. They don't require a big tank, they love a tank that's a little dirty, and they're super easy to breed. What could possibly go wrong? Well, you could put them with the wrong fish. It's a well-known fact that most fish foods are made with shrimp in it. So shrimp to fish, it can be like candy. If you put shrimp with the wrong fish, they can instantly become a tasty snack for them, and it doesn't matter if it's a fish that's listed as peaceful or not. Fish just can't resist them. Now, this doesn't mean you can't put them with any other fish. We have shrimp with betas, danios, celestial pearl danios, and they do fine. Even guppies. They love to be with guppies. Yes, I'm sure as the shrimp are reproducing, the fish are picking off some of the babies, but as long as I don't see it, it really doesn't bother me. Plus, it helps with population control. Circle of life, I guess.
Hey, did you like our list and want to see 3 more fish that can help you keep your aquarium clean? Well, click the join button down below, become a channel member, and you're going to get 3 additional items on every single one of our Sunday list videos. Don't forget, if you want to support the channel, use the code SNAIL at checkout at keepfishkeeping.com and get yourself 10% off. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week with another list. See ya.